It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. And recently in Greater West Bloomfield, the Chaldean Community Foundation opened the doors of its brand new cultural center. It was such an incredible event, and I was out there talking to so many great people, and here's what I had to say, and here's what I saw at this incredible event. Outside of Iraq, Michigan is home to the largest Chaldean population in the world. And just recently, a brand new cultural center right here in Greater West Bloomfield opened up for the Chaldean community to embrace and celebrate their culture. With several different amenities for the entire community, there is something for everybody here with this building and provides such a powerful connection to everyone who is proud to be a Chaldean. What has been your favorite thing to see here tonight from all the incredible amenities that are available?
So my favorite thing to see is by far the library, Bishop Brahim Library. The manuscripts, I love history, so just to see like 1,000-year-old manuscripts, you know, that's our roots, you know, and seeing that it's been digitized and all that they've done to preserve and keep those records and to make them accessible to, you know, future generations to come. It's really a beautiful thing.
Beautiful place, #1 community center I've seen in America. It's a full-service building, from studios to libraries, offices, Chaldean support, chamber, foundation, and the church is involved as well too. So you have priests that are active coming in and out every day.
It's really a dream come true for many people in the Chaldean community. We've been trying to figure out how can we best preserve our culture, our heritage, our identity, and this is a culmination. I mean, we've been looking at this building for more than 10 years, believe it or not, and by the grace of God, we're able to buy it about a year ago and really accelerated the renovation, and are very happy to now share this with the general community. We have a cooking demonstration kitchen, podcast studios, television studio, business incubator, a theater. These are just some of the wonderful variety of options that we have at this new center.
It's absolutely phenomenal. It's our West Campus. As you know, we've been around for almost 24 years. This is a tremendous achievement to be in this phenomenal town. We're in one of the richest communities in the state of Michigan. And it's a great honor to be here, and it's a great honor to serve our 500,000 Chaldean residents all across the United States of America. So that's what this organization is going to do here in West Bloomfield. We've got the library. We're going to have our National Museum here, and most of all, we're going to be serving our Chaldean community that's needy, that needs help. And we're not just open to Chaldeans; we're open to everybody, of course. So we're very proud of that.
Do nights like these make you proud to be Chaldean?
Yeah, I think this is what we're trying to do is create facilities that will serve generations to come. And so that more and more people will use this facility, Chaldean or not, to the greater benefit. It's educational, it's cultural, and it's meaningful. Those are very important.
The biggest thing that I want people to take away is that they need to learn to give back. That's one of the things that we're very proud of with our Jewish brothers and sisters is they're really, really good at giving back, and we want to teach our Chaldean community to do the same thing, to give back. We've raised over $15 million, and we hope to continue that. So that's the greatest achievement would be if our people learn to give back to the community.
With such a vast collection of knowledge and entertainment, there is something for everyone to enjoy with the new Chaldean Cultural Center, and it's clear just how much of an impact it's going to have on the community for many years to come. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff. It's a great center, and it was such an amazing time to be out at that event. And that package has already become one of Civic Center TV's most popular videos throughout all of our socials. Big thank you to the Chaldean Community Center for allowing me to stop by and to check out all the fun. As we mentioned earlier in the week, the Marshbank Music Series was set to begin last night over at Marshbank Park. But, of course, the weather had to put those plans on pause. Last night's performance from Cosmic Groove was unfortunately canceled due to insufficient weather. However, you will still have a chance to hear them in a few weeks, as a rescheduled performance has been set for August 6th. The concert series will continue as scheduled next Wednesday, July 16th, with a performance from a band, Space Cat. Head to wbparks.org for more updates on the bands that you will be seeing throughout the summer at Marshbank Music. Family Fun Night is making its grand return this August. Join everybody for the 14th annual celebration hosted by the West Bloomfield School District on Thursday, August 28th at 5 p.m. This family-friendly event promises games, activities, and entertainment for all ages, and it's a chance to celebrate community, togetherness, and gratitude. This year, they are saluting the U.S. military, police, and fire heroes for their service and dedication. Mark your calendars and make lasting memories with family, friends, and neighbors. We'll see you out at the event for food, fun, and festivities at Family Fun Night. Since 1970, Michigan's senior population has grown from 750,000 to about 1.9 million, nearly matching the decline in children under 18 from 3.25 million to around 2.1 million. As such, it's always important to make sure that there is a focus on senior life and living in Greater West Bloomfield and helping to set the blueprint for successful aging. Bernadette Hudgens, the Senior Services Manager for the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Commission, joined us recently to share her thoughts on the matter.
Thanks for being here, Bernadette.
Hi, thank you. I'm really glad to be here with you as well.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious about this. Aging is something that we all aspire to do. God willing, we're able to, get into an older age. But this is something that we need to pay attention to. It's saying that basically our residents in Michigan, specifically even in Oakland County, they're getting older, and our youth aren't necessarily matching that. So with Michigan's rapidly aging population, what new senior-focused programs are West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Commission considering to better support our older adults?
Well, I will tell you, one of the things that we have a major focus on is making sure we're providing resources and services. So we just finished our Americans Community Living Act. We had a grant, and it was a wonderful grant, which was provided to us by Haley Stevens. And that grant allowed us to do some programming around nutrition, social interaction, and making sure that we're creating a space for people to feel comfortable aging in place, because that's what most people are making their preference at this point, to age in their home. So having activities for them to be able to do that.
That's an interesting.
And to get them out of the house.
Right. That's an interesting phrase that you brought, aging in place. So that's something I haven't been privy to, but as you said that, it kind of made sense. Just pretty much staying where you are, where you're comfortable, where you've grown, and most people probably already own their house and been there for decades, and why would I want to go anywhere else? And with that being said, I want to ask you about something too, your work, possibly collaboration with other organizations. The Oakland County's Blueprint for Successful Aging is what we talked about briefly. Are you all collaborating with this blueprint to address some of this housing cost burdens and transportation, and what does that look like?
Well, our role here is to focus on the programming. So when we talk about the GWB Parks Connect Senior Center is about having activities and resources and information and educational opportunities for our Bloomfield residents. So our goal is to make sure that we're having things that people can get out, do, as well as get information that will help them live their best life. So again, wonderful, you have a video from one of our holiday events. So again, these are the things that we have. So we have that was one of our luncheons. We create those opportunities for people to come and socialize, meet new people. You see, we have a new cornhole kit. We've expanded our game room. So we're focusing on bringing everybody. We don't want anyone to think that it's just about women, but it's about everybody and creating space for activities.
Inclusivity, love that. And it seems like you all are, like you said, incorporating new things as well to kind of keep them moving along and feel active and engaged as well. Now, a lot of services are only accessible online as well, resources. And with that being said, there's kind of this barrier that we talked about on Civic Center TV before about technology in our senior residents. What strategies are in place to assist some of these seniors in navigating maybe some benefits or resources online, especially tackling some of those technology and online form concerns?
You know what? That's a great question, Kevin. There are so many things out there that individuals just don't know about. Like, there's actually a program that we have here in WB Parks, and we do it in partnership with the library. It's once a month. It's usually the first Monday of the month in the afternoon, late afternoon, where you can come and learn how to use your technology. That's first the number one thing, because as we all know, there's no longer a Yellow Pages. So if you want to get in contact with someone, you need to know how to access the internet to be able to do that. So that tool is accessible. There's also some other resources out online called AARP has Senior Planet, which is an online tool that people can access. And I will give you these links so when you post it, you can provide it. There's also a partnership that the state of Michigan has with another online training program, and that's it's through the state of Michigan. And those online resources provide free classes, whether it be educational or exercise classes. If you want to have a book club, if you want to participate in a book club, if you want to socialize with people, there's opportunities to do that, and you can do that online. But the challenge is if you don't understand technology and you're not comfortable with it, it would make that difficult. So we do have resources, and we're having some conversations of potentially thinking what are some more frequent classes we can have. So we're trying to figure out what that would look like.
Yeah, I know that's a big factor in just modern living nowadays, being able to navigate and utilize technology and different devices. So that's our senior residents aren't an exception. And I hate to say the word senior and refer to them as that, but we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. Right now, joining me right here live on The Splash, Senior Services Manager for WB Parks, Bernadette Hudgens, talking about the growing population of older residents in Michigan, even specifically in West Bloomfield Township and Oakland County. Now, I just want to get off track a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. We briefly spoke about the terminology of seniors, if I'm not mistaken. I want you to kind of clarify this. We talked about it off camera. Let's talk about this a little bit more. A lot of people refer to them as seniors. Is this the right term to use? Are they comfortable with this, not comfortable?
I think it depends on the person.
Okay.
What I'm finding is people are living longer. And so you have 50-year-olds. Back in the day, you might have called them a senior. Oh, don't call me that. So we are thoughtful about the terms that we use, but I have had a number of people say, just call me Mary, just call me John. You don't have to put a title on me. So I think that that's just important too, to find out how someone wants to be referred to. But when you think about a group, we are thoughtful to use the word older adult. People can take offense to the word elderly. So again, just being thoughtful of making sure people feel included. And people shut up. I was talking to a sorority sister the other day, and she says, we have all these great programs, but our 50-year-olds and our 60-year-olds don't want to join because it has the term senior on it. And they're not realizing that these resources and information are helpful for them as well. So you may notice in some groups, they're getting away from the term senior or even older adults, and they're just using the age. So they may say 50 and older or 55 and above. So to not turn anyone off, again, the goal is to have people utilize the resources. And we want people who are younger to get the resources. And you may be aware that AARP is offering their membership to much younger population because they know that they want to inform people earlier so that you have the resources even before you need them.
Right. Yeah, and is getting ahead of it is the key of it all as well. But getting back to the whole point, yes, I just want to clarify that as well, because sometimes we put labels on people and they may or may not be comfortable with it. So addressing them directly, or at least asking them how they like to be addressed, is probably the most respectful thing. Thank you for that from your experience. Now, we have a lot of communal spaces in our area, parks, events, fitness programs. How does the township and WB Parks adapt those spaces to meet the needs of some of our older adults, as opposed to maybe the youth or even the younger adults?
Well, it's so funny you say that because we are constantly trying to think through how can we create spaces that are accessible to all? Because what we found is if you're focusing on making things age friendly, you're going to capture everyone. So something that may benefit an older adult may also support a mother who has a child in a stroller. So it's all these things of how do we make our spaces more accessible to all? And actually, that's one of the investments that we recently made here at Connect. The beginning of the year, we added automated doors on the front as well as at the restroom, because our goal is to, again, include everyone and help people be able to participate. But I think that's really important, thinking about creating space and making sure that they're accessible, whether it be by wheelchair or by walker, all the things to reduce trip hazards so that people can be safe and have fun and enjoy themselves outside of their home.
Correct. Very considerate, and it's good to know that you all are making those changes and making adaptations, I should say, to different environments to help our older adult residents as well. Now, you handed me over a large packet with a lot of information regarding the older adult residents in our area and, you know, some of the information. But with that being said, given projections that Michigan will have a natural population decrease by 2050, what does this mean for future planning of senior versus youth services in West Bloomfield?
Well, this is one of the things that we're constantly keeping our eye out for, especially as we're thinking about, you know, as we're working on building our new multi-generational community center, making sure that the spaces are thoughtful to be inclusive, thinking about where do we space things, where do we put things, so that we can be inclusive and also thoughtful about larger programs, smaller programs. Where will people relax? Where will people actually want to get away to? Because since we're all going to be in one building, we acknowledge that, you know, some older adults may say, I love to see the kids in passing, but I don't want to hear them. So, okay, well, where do you put them? So all these things are important to make sure that people, again, feel like they're a part of the process and that they're able to have a comfortable space.
Right. Well said. That was funny. With me right here live on The Splash, by the way, Senior Services Manager Bernadette Hudgens from WB Parks, just talking about the growing older adult population in Michigan, Oakland County, and West Bloomfield Township. Curious, building this connection between the younger residents and the older adult residents. How can younger residents in West Bloomfield contribute to and connect with the senior community through volunteer programs and maybe even intergenerational activities?
Actually, we are trying to figure out the best way to do that in our senior space. We've been talking about some kind of programming that we want to do, more programming around intergenerational activities. We currently have the Parks Children's Program. They currently have some programs this summer, actually, with Grandma and Me, Grandpa and Me. So some programs we do currently have that are either in our guide or preparing to be in the next seasonal guide around engaging with your grandparents. So I think that's one piece. So coming on out and having fun with us. Another piece is, I think technology is a great way to connect the younger population and the older population. It's just amazing how children between, the age of 1, how they understand technology in a way that most people may not, only because they live their entire lives with it. And so with that being said, I think technology is a great way to keep people connected.
Nice.
And teaching the children, teaching the older folks how to use technology. And I think the best age to do that is really the ages of 11 to like 14. And then because they are just so excited that they know something that you don't know, that they're really helpful and really patient in educating their family members and friends.
Yeah, I love that. We got to build that bridge. That way the younger residents here can actually, connect with them and see a little bit more of themselves in our older residents as well. Bernadette, we appreciate so much of your time. Any lasting information you want to briefly get off before we let you go?
I do. We actually are having our Connect open house, and we're doing that on August the 26th, and then make sure I have my time right, from 1 to 3:30, and those that will be captured in our guide. So more information to come that will be in our fall guide. We hope to see the seniors there. We're going to have all of our programmers from throughout all of parks there, along with some of our instructors. We think that it's really important that people get a chance to know some of the resources and information that's available here at Connect. So we're really excited, and we're looking forward to seeing people on August the 26th here at Connect. Our address is 33230 West 14 Mile here in West Bloomfield.
All right. Well done. And thank you so much again for sharing that information and that insight. Senior Services Manager for WB Parks Recreation Commission, Bernadette Hudgens. Thank you again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Always got to look out for the seniors in our community. Make sure that they are happy, healthy, and thriving. So we really appreciate Bernadette for stopping by the show and for sharing all that great information. We're just getting started here on the Splash Live. Plenty of other big stories and topics to get into right after this. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Can't be late to your own party. Hurry up! Hurry up! Ah! Do not cut me off. It's her fault? Her fault? Ah! You kidding me? Honk, honk, honk! Honk, honk, honk! Honk, honk! Late! Out of my way! Honk! I hate construction!
You should have slowed down.
My party.
You wouldn't act this way in a store, so don't act this way on the road. Driving slower saves lives.
Hello, my name is Danya Bazzi. I'm the superintendent of West Bloomfield School District. I want to congratulate Civic Center TV on hitting the amazing milestone of 1 million viewers. Your involvement in our community doesn't go unnoticed. We thank you for keeping our residents and community engaged in the latest and greatest news and information. I'm Danya Bazzi, and I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
Floodwaters can rise fast. Take precautions to stay safe. Follow the instructions of local officials and all emergency notifications. If authorities say evacuate, don't wait. Do not walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Just 1 foot of water can sweep away a vehicle. Never drive around barricades. You don't know what danger may be on the other side. For more tips on how to protect your family, visit ready.gov/floods.
Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. As we've been talking about on the show recently, the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show is quickly approaching here in Greater West Bloomfield, and we have been showcasing several artists who will be on display at the event, which expands beyond traditional art forms to the realm of music as well. One of those many performers is a musical artist who brings a vibrant sound from an instrument you probably have never heard of before. Vladimir Karadkin, the artist in question, joins us right now on the Splash Live to tell us all about it. Vladimir, really happy to have you with us today.
Hello. Nice to see you. And I would like to talk about my instrument, everything. Any questions, let me know.
Absolutely. Really, really excited to be hearing it. I love music. I sing. I perform. I always love hearing about new forms of music. And this is a new one for me. I have never heard of this instrument. It's called the cymbali. Tell me about it.
My instrument, cymbali, from Belarus, Ukraine. And it's a unique instrument because this instrument includes many, many instruments in the world. Like everybody come to me at the show. I play many shows. And one of the show, West Bloomfield, what I play, Orchard Lake show, one of my favorite. Actually, instrument by itself, it's a string instrument. It's like a piano inside with the hammers. Strike, strings. And I play also with the fingers.
Interesting. Awesome. I'm sure that's going to make a really, really great sound for the event. Vladimir, how long have you been playing the cymbali, and what is it about this instrument that speaks to you?
My instrument, a very old instrument, and I play this instrument since I was 7. I graduated a special musical school with the piano and my instrument because it's traditional instrument from Belarus and Ukraine, and I play all kinds of music.
Interesting. What can you talk about, like maybe the types of music that you typically play with the cymbali, maybe ones that have like a big special meaning for you?
Many years ago, I performed for Princess Cruises line in a bar, and I have to play everything from classical till jazz, from Beatles till Amazing Grace, and everybody appreciate different kind of music. That's what I can play.
Awesome. And what have audiences said about your performances when they've gone to see you at any event?
You know what? Last 20 years, I performed at the art shows in Canada and US. Mostly, I perform at the fine art show. Like what Patty and Rosen, my very good friend, organized this show, Orchard Lake Art Show. She invited me to play in Florida. She invited me to play in everywhere. And everybody mentioned that my instrument is something special.
I would imagine so, and I can't wait to go out to the art show and hear it. And playing an instrument like this for as long as you have, I'd imagine that it's a great reflection of your own personality. How is playing the cymbali a reflection of you and a reflection of what you provide?
I try to give people sound of real music. I call it music for the soul. It means when I play classical music, people can feel that this music touch their hearts. That's main reason why I want to play for the art show, and I traditionally sell for people online, and traditionally I sell people anything what they want with my music, because my compositions, I compose special art music, playing Art Gallery Toronto, for example. It's special art music.
For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Vladimir Korodkin, a musical artist who's going to be performing at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show very, very soon with his very unique and beautiful instrument, the cymbali. Now, Vladimir, what impact do you hope your performances will leave on the West Bloomfield residents, particularly regarding their understanding of global musical traditions?
I hope, like always, as always, I do this show for many years, 5, 6 years, I don't remember, and I hope impact it's going to be great, because I'd like to give people different kind of music, and they appreciate when they listen my classical, like Chopin, Schubert, Beethoven, and my music, like my favorite Beatles, I arrange it, and my music also. I hope that people gonna learn something from me in case of real music what I play.
I love that. And speaking of learning something from you, I am curious, when you're out at this event, are you going to be offering maybe some hands-on demonstrations or educational moments, maybe giving maybe people who are coming to the art show a chance to play the instrument themselves?
You know what, it's happened many times, because when I play big shows, I have a big crowd, and everybody wants to hear something like what I told you about my instrument, about me, about the nature of those instruments, which culture more than 5,000 years ago, and every country in the world get this kind of musical instrument. That's what I try to teach people with the instrument and music.
I love that. Well, Vladimir, I cannot wait to be out at the event, to hear your instrument, to hear your music, and to see everything that you've got to show for us. I got one more question before we wrap things up. Is there like maybe a specific moment when you've performed for children or families at events like this one or similar, and that stood out to you, and how that experience might inspire you at this show?
The most important, I'm looking in a future, the kids start to learn good music. And I wish everybody to learn something from you, from me, from everybody who knows something different what everybody knows. And my instrument, it's one of the most interesting instrument, what kids like to hear, and everybody listen, and everybody enjoy, and learning something from me.
Well, I can't wait for everyone to see what you've got to show us at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. Vladimir, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Great to have you with us. Always love hearing about these fantastic artists. We've had a lot of artists on the show over the last few weeks. Only a couple musical artists so far, so it's great to be seeing these different kinds of musicians. I've certainly have never heard of the cymbali, and I can't wait to see it in action at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show coming up later this month. The Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society has made a big name for itself over the years, celebrating and showcasing the history of our community. And very soon, on Wednesday, July 16th, from 6 to 8, there will be an appreciation reception at the Orchard Lake Museum. Gina Gregory, the president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us more. Gina, really happy to have you with us today.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here.
Of course. Always love talking to you. Always love hearing about these bits of history from throughout our little community. What's the inspiration behind hosting this year's appreciation reception at the Orchard Lake Museum?
Appreciating who we are and how we're here. Without volunteers, we wouldn't be here, most literally. You know, we're a volunteer organization, and everything we've done has been because of volunteers. We're 51 years old and began with people having an interest in history before the bicentennial in 1976. So in 1974, they got started and didn't have a home for years. When the city of Orchard Lake Village built their new facility, then their former city hall offices became available to us, and members moved in and brought with them what they already had collected and took it from there. So we appreciate them, and we appreciate the volunteers that are here today, because we need volunteers to make it happen.
That's absolutely right. Volunteers play such a big role in everything that we do around the community. You see them everywhere you go. So what can attendees expect during this reception? Are there going to be like maybe some special presentations or recognitions during this event?
This is pretty, I'm going to call it, pretty loose social time. When folks come in, we give them a ticket to a raffle. Many raffles. They can choose which one, where they want to put their ticket. We have 6 or 7 different items from them to choose from. And of course, they can purchase tickets to add more raffles and increase their odds of becoming a winner, which is kind of fun for us. And then it's a social time with good refreshments. And then I thank people and pull the winners. So it's a very casual time. It's a nice way for people to meet people. We've had some new volunteers come forward, so we're looking forward to having a time where we can just chat with folks. Because personal contact is a lot of what we do, is in person. In the days now of the internet and so much available online, you can easily slip into watching TV shows at home and doing your own research and doing your own viewing. What we provide is up-close experience for people, face to face, and that is wonderful. So we like to embrace that at this point.
That's absolutely right, and especially for people who have such a fascination for local history. It's very easy to go into those rabbit holes and to learn so much more that you never would have discovered in any other way. This sounds like a great event, and will this be highlighting any specific achievements or milestones from the Historical Society that have taken place within the past year?
No, because I don't think we've done anything particular this year. Last year was our 50th anniversary, so that kind of was the focus throughout the year. It had some lasting results. So with our materials available, we have a historical map of this area showing what used to be here. And it was also done the first few years that we existed. So that's on one side of what was highlighted then. And now we've, on the reverse side is a new map highlighting what we see as important today. So that's a takeaway that people can enjoy. So that's a continuing legacy that we have. And just enjoying the exhibits that we do have. It's a labor of love to put them in place and have them there to share.
That's right, and it's such a great community and such a great society for showcasing all of these great features. And are there going to be opportunities for new individuals to get involved or to learn more about this society during this reception?
Absolutely, absolutely. I always talk to people about that, and I'm looking forward to meeting 3 people that I know have expressed interest in coming and meeting folks up close. We're always looking for more people to do research, people to chat with the community, be representatives to us, volunteers in a variety of ways. So whether you're a researcher or just appreciate history and would like to lend a hand, contact us, look at our website. The contact information is there, and literally it's contact@gwbhs.org. And you can contact our office coordinator. That works well. And then check out our website. It's very robust with history and activities. And then through you and through YouTube, we have many videos online. So we've created a wealth of resources.
For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, Gina Gregory, about the upcoming appreciation reception that's going to be taking place on July 16th at the Orchard Lake Museum. Now, Gina, you talked a lot about volunteers and the works that they have done for the community and for the Historical Society. What role does community appreciation play in sustaining local history and heritage initiatives?
Hopefully that happens. Again, in this day and age, we need for people to do that. And literally, we need their support in so many, physically by volunteering as well as financially to support us. And certainly the business community can step up to help us out. We're always looking for sponsors. And sometimes when we have new projects to take on, there's always ways to sponsor us. You can sponsor an exhibit. You can sponsor our newsletter. You can sponsor a variety of things.
That's right. And when people show up to this event, they come to this appreciation celebration, what message do you hope attendees walk away with after this evening of recognition and gratitude?
That it's a fun place to be. We like to keep it cheerful. We like to work with people with where they're at and listen to their story. Many people, they live here. So how did they get here? How long have they been here? What was their house like when they first moved in? Is it an old house, new house? There's so many things to know. And then we have the resources where they can look up through our tax records of when their property changed in a way for taxing. And then that often informs you as to what was on the property at that time. So you can learn when your house was built, in essence. And that's always a fun thing for people. And they can learn what resources they have that they might like to avail themselves to.
Lots of history that's right under our noses that you just don't see every day that can be learned right with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Gina, I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. One more quick question before we wrap things up. We know that this is going to be taking place very, very soon, but are there any other exciting events with the Historical Society that's going to be coming up within the next few months?
Sure. In September on the 11th, we're having our Pine Lake Marina Tour. That's always interesting. There's so much history that is on the top of the Pine Lake Marina Tour, where we talk about the trolley as well and vacationers that came out here and the camps that were here. So that's an interesting time. Then October 12th is our open house for Indigenous people. And we've got more research to share. Neil, one of our researchers, has done a good job of learning more, so he'll be able to share that. And then October 19th is our Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary walk, where we walk through Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary and enjoy the surroundings there with the flora and fauna at that point in time. Carol Fink should be the historian and naturalist with us. And then very shortly, we'll be featuring that on Sunday, this Sunday, for our open house. The theme is the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary, where we talk about how it got here, or how it formed, and about it. So we have people who were here when changes were made, and we're looking forward for them sharing that history with us.
Lots to look forward to here in Greater West Bloomfield. Gina, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Once again, this appreciation reception is going to be taking place on Wednesday, July 16th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Orchard Lake Museum. We appreciate Gina for stopping by and for sharing this information and everything that the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society does for our community. One of the most celebrated foundations throughout Greater West Bloomfield is, of course, the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. And if you've been on social media recently, you will know that the main library branch, the one that's located right here on the Civic Center campus, is celebrating its 25th anniversary. You can see a video right now on your screen if you're watching on Civic Center TV. A lot has happened over the last 25 years. Lots of changes to the building, but the main goal remains the same, helping to get everybody reading and engaged in some very, very good books. A lot has happened in the last 25 years, and here to share his thoughts on this incredible milestone is someone who's been with the library for all 25 of those years and more, Young Adult Services Coordinator Steve Ketchum. Steve, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, this is such a very exciting time for the main library branch. 25 years. I mean, that's certainly a very, very big milestone to celebrate. What emotions or reflections come to mind as you reach this milestone?
I don't know. I'm grateful. You know, I've been here since 1995, so I was here in the old library. So, you know, I've seen how the library and the community has progressed in more than 25 years. But, you know, just grateful that we, you know, have such an amazing community that we work in, and I hope our library reflects that.
Oh, it absolutely does. It has made such a big impact on the greater West Bloomfield community for these past 25 years and beyond. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes over that time. What have been some of the biggest changes that you've witnessed in how the library serves the community?
I think one of the biggest things, you know, outside of our core mission of literacy is technology, you know, that kind of literacy. Because when I started in 1995, the internet was just coming into the forefront, and it was something that became more and more important. So I think that's when I really saw, and we continue to be like the educators of the community as far as new technologies. When I first started, we were teaching, you know, introduction to the internet, you know, how to sign up for an email. And now we're doing stuff like AI and smartphone technology. So I think in technological literacy, that's where we've really, you know, grown in the last 25 years.
That's right. And you're mentioning things that nowadays seems like second nature to so many people, but back at the time was very, very new. So I would imagine that there was a lot of adaptation during that time. And
yes.
Now I want to talk about how the library's physical appearance has changed, either structurally or in how it's being used by the public. What have you seen in that nature?
I mean, structurally, anybody who remembers the old library, and I could barely remember it, I always tell people, but I mean, the new library reflects everything we didn't have before. Like the room I'm sitting in now is our meeting room, which the community can use for HOA meetings and things like that. We have a smaller conference room. We have, you know, far more computer resources than what we used to have. We have a beautiful youth room, far more than what we had, with an activity center. You know, just everything. We have 14 group study rooms, and those are super popular, and we didn't have any of that before. So, you know, I think that those are the things that, and we had a computer lab at one time, but that has sort of transitioned into a multi-purpose room. And now we can do more maker-oriented stuff. We have a 3D printer in there. We have a laser cutter. So that's the kind of stuff that's changed.
That's right. So many great resources right at our fingertips when you walk into the library. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with West Bloomfield Township Public Library Young Adult Services Coordinator Steve Ketchum, talking about the Civic Center Campus Library's 25th anniversary, their silver anniversary, might I add, and all of the big changes that have taken place with the library within the last 25 years. Now, Steve, what feedback have you received from patrons about how the library has impacted their lives or their learning journeys? Because I would imagine that there have been a lot of things to say over the last 25 years.
Yeah, again, I think it falls into, you know, what I said earlier. I mean, there's a lot of people who, you know, thank us for helping with literacy for their children, offering books, you know, even throughout life, you know, from young people all the way to elderly. Technology, again, we are the go-to in this community for technology training. We do one-on-one technology training with people as well. So a lot of our, you know, more elderly population use that service. So, you know, they are so thankful. They are very happy. I mean, we offer just so many resources Our group study rooms yesterday, power was out for a chunk of West Bloomfield, and we were just inundated with people who needed a place to work, study, and they used our study rooms, and they were so thankful that we were here to provide that internet as well.
That's right. Lots of great resources you provide, especially for people who are in a bit of a bind when it comes to weather situations like you just mentioned. Now, with this being the 25th anniversary, I'm really curious. Is the main branch or is the West Bloomfield Library doing any special events or exhibits or celebrations to mark this anniversary and to celebrate it?
Yeah, so I can't get into much because it's still in the planning phases, but we will do some sort of celebration in the fall. There will also be some kind of historical, display, about the library over time. And we're also coming up with some really cool new swag that will celebrate our 25th anniversary as well. So more to come in that regard.
All right, leave me on the edge of my seat. Can't wait to hear what's to come in the coming months. Now, Steve, as we just mentioned, you have been with the West Bloomfield Library since before this main branch was even here. You've been here since 1995, 30 years. And I'm curious, what has the West Bloomfield Library meant to you personally?
I just think it is. I mean, this is the only library I ever have worked at. When I, got out of graduate school, my master's in library science, I ended up here at West Bloomfield. And, I've stayed here ever since because I think, this community is an avid supporter of the library, which I greatly appreciate, and I try to give back as much as I can. I think this facility is just amazing. I mean, being 25 years old, like you wouldn't even know it. I mean, it is so beautiful, and the details are so timeless. It doesn't seem like out of date, like it was something built in 2000. I mean, it just, never looks old. And, just the people I work with, they're people that I love working with here. The cool thing too is because I've been here so long, I have seen people over time, like kids that I knew when I first came here are now adults with their own children. So it's very important to me. I mean, I'm very touched that I've been able to stay here, and I hope I can stay here till the end of my career. So I just love the community and the library.
I love hearing that, Steve. And once again, big congratulations to the West Bloomfield Library for this incredible anniversary. I got one more question before we wrap things up. We've seen what the last 25 years have brought to Greater West Bloomfield. What do you hope the next 25 will look like for the West Bloomfield Township Library?
Well, again, I hope that we continue to grow and meet the needs of our community as they evolve and change. I hope that we continue building, strengthening our partnerships with the community, Parks and Rec. We have a great relationship with the schools, and we go in and promote literacy in the schools. So I hope that we continue to grow and expand on that at a time when less and less people are, younger people are reading. So, and I just hope that we stay in the forefront. We do our best to be leaders in the library field and to give our community everything we possibly can.
And you provide so much for this community, and the community is grateful for everything that you do. Steve, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Steve. Great to have you with us. And once again, a big congratulations for the West Bloomfield Township Library on their 25th anniversary. That is crazy. Like Steve said, you could never guess that library building is as old as it is. Doesn't look a day over 10, if I do say so myself. But big congratulations to the library. West Bloomfield is getting an increase in their water rates. The West Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees voted to raise water and sewer rates, starting with the July 1st meter read to address inflation, aging infrastructure, and revenue shortfalls. West Bloomfield Township Supervisor Jonathan Warshay recently joined us on The Splash to tell us all about the change and what went into the decision.
Thanks for being here, Mr. Warshay.
Thank you for having me, Kevin. Good morning.
Thank you. And we just want to address some of these issues so we can answer some of these questions immediately and as soon as possible. Just starting with the why now. What were the most urgent factors that made this the right time for a water rate increase?
Well, I don't know that there's ever a right time for an increase, at least as far as the public is concerned, but we have 4 or 5 main things that occurred, events. One is Great Lakes Water Authority, from whom we buy our water, had a larger rate increase. Just to give folks a little background, it used to be Detroit Water that became Great Lakes. And when it became a regional water authority, they agreed not to have more than 4% increases for 10 years. That 10 years is up, so the rate was more than 4%. We also have 2 sewer systems that West Bloomfield is part of. Those are through the county. One covers more the northern part, one the southern part, and both of those had larger rate increases. Because we don't control either of those factors, we sort of have to go along for the ride. So that's part of it. We also, those systems needed capital improvements, and those extra costs get passed on to us as well. We also have aging infrastructure within the township. So a lot of our water mains were built 50 years or more ago, and those things have deteriorated, and we're going through a program to replace them. Rather than have a break all of a sudden and put people in the lurch. So those are quite expensive. We're doing one, for example, in the West Acres area that we're going to work on. It was scheduled to be $11.5 million, and it's pushing 14. So those things all go into the water rate. And then the last thing, which sounds a little strange, is water loss through the system. Unlike your house, water pipes in the township and everywhere else will leak a little bit, the water mains. Great Lakes Water Authority had a bad meter, a giant meter that the township was using to measure the water that we use throughout the township. It was under-reading the amount of water that was being done, so they weren't charging us the full amount.
Wow.
They replaced the meter, and we went from, it was so defective, in fact, that sometimes we used more water than we got billed for. So now we're paying for it. So we lose about 10% of the water through the system. And just so folks know, we are doing a sound study where they use sound throughout the pipes to detect leaks. If it's a large leak, they fix it immediately. And if it's a smaller leak, then it goes on a list, and we'll be addressing all of those. And that way we'll only be paying for the water that we actually use. And that'll decrease cost to some amount.
Wow, a lot of different factors, and I'm so glad you took the time to explain that, because it adds context and perspective to this situation where a lot of people are just going to get those bills and say, what's going on here? But now that you're added that information, I think it kind of explains a little bit more. Specifically with the infrastructure, I want to go into that. How does this decision support the township's long-term plan for infrastructure?
So we look through how old the pipes are in different areas, and if there's been issues, and those are the ones that get done sooner. We have capital improvement projects over the years, and so we try to get to all of the water mains as part of that. So we work in different parts of the township to replace those. Since we are talking about bills, I'll use mine as an example. My last water bill was a little over $200. So if my water usage is the same, my bill will go up $45, $50. Now that's a quarter, so we're talking $15 to $20 a month for my house. Now, folks that have more people in the house using water, or if they have a pool, they're certainly going to see a larger increase than that. Now, as I just said, we bill quarterly, so every 3 months you get a bill. I know that most people do their budgets monthly, so a quarterly bill is a little harder to budget for. So what we're planning to do next year is to go to monthly billing. Just to that should make it easier on everyone. We've currently, half our meters are smart meters. So what that means is the water usage gets fed into our water department 4 times a day for each house. And what that does, not so much that we're trying to see what people are doing, but if there's a leak, we'll know within a day, rather than somebody getting a bill after a quarter with a high amount. There's also an app called Eye on Water. So if your house has one of these smart meters, and I'll let folks know, if you don't have one now, we're still doing it. It'll probably be another 4 years before everyone is on the smart meters.
Okay.
But if you have a smart meter, you can have an app called Eye on Water, and it'll alert you to leaks. You tell how many people are in your house. You can indicate if you have a pool or if you're using sprinklers, so that it sort of educates it to know how much water usage to expect, and then it'll alert you if you are using higher than normal use water.
Seems like it's a very handy tool to keep in mind, and we're hoping that our audience took note of that and go ahead to find out how you can get one of those smart meters as well. But with me right here live on The Splash, by the way, we have West Bloomfield Township Supervisor Jonathan Warshay discussing the new vote from the West Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees raising the water and sewage rates that will go into effect July 1st. And we're just talking about the reason behind the increase as well. Now, one thing I want to talk about before we let you go is the cost of living and everything rising. Everything is getting more expensive, and now we have this to add on top of it. So I want you to address this. With the rising cost of living, how is the township working to ease the burden of these higher water bills for our lower income households or even our fixed income residents like our retirees?
Well, it's certainly, as I mentioned, getting rid of the leaks to reduce the costs is the biggest thing that we can do, and that's why we have those capital improvement programs. But folks can also get help if they need financial help for their bills. They can call our water department at 248-451-4780. And there's a couple of programs out there that folks can use for help. One is through the Great Lakes Water Authority, and the second is through the United Way. And again, if you call our water department at 248-451-4780, they will give you information on those programs, what you need to apply, that kind of stuff, so that you can get some help with your bills.
Great, and thank you for providing that information as well. We'll try to provide that to our audience as well, just as a recap. Mr. Warshay, we appreciate you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to take this time to explain to us this. Any additional key information you would like to let residents know before we let you go today?
Well, the approach we took was to sort of get the water rates back on track for now, so that we don't have to increase it as much later. And that's our goal. Of course, we're sort of at the mercy again of what Great Lakes Water Authority and the county does. We're hoping they keep theirs down, but by doing the jump now, hopefully it won't be so painful later. And I know that's not a lot of consolation, but that was the thinking of the board in doing so.
Yeah, and I mean, in the long run, essentially, it should save us a little bit of pain, and I completely understand that. And we thank you so much for your time and your information. Once again, West Bloomfield Township Supervisor, Mr. Jonathan Warshay.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate Jonathan Warshay for providing that information. That is going to do it for us today here on The Splash Live. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everyone on our team for helping to make this show possible. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.